the powerful demon lord, also knows the truth of being able to bend and stretch. Now he will endure it temporarily and will repay him in the future. But at this moment, I was already so nervous that I was shaking. I immediately said you should rest well and don't go out. I thought everyone might be confused. Why I didn't take advantage of the demon lord's coma, do something indescribable. This is a world of swords and magic. As the demon lord, it's normal for him to have a resurrection still. So as long as I show no threat, I can live happily. I didn't want to be happy. He was once again interpreted by the demon lord as mocking him, as a picture of mocking him. Since the devil Elizabeth and I lived together, she studies action movies at home every day. The once slender waist has now turned into an unsightly bucket. At this time, has become a super fat house with 250 caddies. But I must get her protection. Otherwise, I might be instantly trampled by the demons. Not long after, I brought out hot soup again. I've prepared lunch, but even the short distance from the sofa to the table. He was too lazy to move, he said, and then turned his finger. He was about to summon his wings. The once overwhelming demonic wings have now become 2.5 centimeters small wings. Fortunately, those slender wings can still carry his fat body. But the devil blamed me at this time. What poison did you put in the potato chips for me? Making me lazier and lazier. This is clearly a guise for food to paralyze me and want me to fall. Hearing this, I patiently explained to him. Potato chips are high in calories, and eating too much will accumulate fat, and people will naturally become lazy. Hearing this, he couldn't help but look at his own belly. But in the next moment, he used the abyss magic to float again. In a short time, the one who was just muttering about being generous, she regained her devilish figure, and even her big breasts became fuller. I was stunned by this sight. It's amazing. Magic can be used in such a way. The Demon King looked at the sumptuous lunch in front of him. Tears of excitement flowed down his mouth again. Then he began to eat voraciously again. I'm not surprised by this. I'll just make more. It doesn't matter if you eat more. But the imaginative demon lord. But the Demon King had a different interpretation. You are still too weak. I'll kill you when you're a fat pig. Thinking of this, the Demon King was once again furious. He has treated me like a pig for a year, and my strength has broken through dozens of times. Now I should have the strength to challenge you. Yes. I calmly took out his favorite pudding. Instantly, Elizabeth's eyes lit up again and returned to her innocent and lovely appearance. I couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. As long as he eats well, he will calm down. So he's not that difficult to serve. However, outside the novice village, an old man and a woman were frantically running for their lives. And above their heads, there were 3 looming figures. When they looked closely, they were 3 masked mages in purple robes. Several cracks suddenly appeared in the air, coming towards the old man, and the cracks instantly scattered and exploded, surrounding them. The old man raised his giant sword in his hand, and then told his daughter to run for her life. The woman was about to say something with tears in her eyes, but the mage didn't want to see them. The father-daughter relationship instantly condensed into a terrifying ghost fire. The man also roared at this time that it must be quick. He used his strongest move, a golden light hero slash, towards the ghost fire mage. Instantly, a sword cut the ghost fire mage in half. The companion looked at the fallen ghost fire mage. He raised his hand and sucked it into his body. Instantly, his head emerged from his neck. It was the bow in the hands of the girl Deru. 2 green energy beams, and shot towards the other mage. However, he just let out a light breath and easily deflected the 2 energies. He put his hands on the ground, and then he jumped up directly. Instantly, he came to the man's front. He punched the man hard and sent him into the clouds. The man flew hundreds of meters away and hit the hill before stopping. A mouthful of phlegm also spewed out at this time. The girl cried out for her father with tears streaming down. However, another mage flew towards the previous 2 people and slowly absorbed them into his body. Instantly, a 8-meter tall, a 3-headed evil spirit appeared in front of them. The girl looked at everything in front of her. Her eyes went blank. The evil spirit roared at the 2. The writhing mouth was extremely disgusting. Then he drew 2 blue flames with his hands again and attacked them. However, with a loud noise resounding through the ground, the rising dust, covering the father and daughter. The girl looked through the smoke carefully. The next scene immediately stunned her, because what she saw in front of her was a mammoth as big as a mountain. The evil spirit in front of them had been trampled into a ghost. On the top of the mammoth lord, there was a 3-story building. In the building, there was a toad immortal directing the mammoth's actions. On the top of the immortal, there was still an inconspicuous hut. There was also a person standing in front of the hut. When she looked closely, it was actually my pet, Wenkai. I don't know how long it passed. The girl suddenly woke up from her dream. She found herself in a room, and it was quiet. She suddenly remembered that her father was seriously injured. If not treated in time, he might die. Then she ran out immediately, Dad. Dad, you must hold on. But as soon as she opened the door and looked out, the scene in front of her directly stunned her, because at this moment, his father was sniffing his muscles vigorously. And beside him, there were 2 strangers. And I was very excited to see the uncle in front of me. Is this the warrior outside? They are so amazing. Seeing me so happy, Wenkai. He happily circled around me. But then he was kicked 2.5 meters by the devil, and then glared at Wenkai angrily. You stupid dog! Who told you to bring these strangers back? Wenkai was scared to tremble by the demon in front of him, because as a loser, the memory of being destroyed by the demon lord emerged again. But at this moment, I was already attracted by his huge muscles. Wow. Wow, so strong. If only I had it. Then the uncle's posture kept changing. Since Mr. Lapping likes it, I won't hide it anymore. Then he directly burned his fighting spirit. His huge muscles directly burst his clothes. My eyes lit up in an instant. I was amazed again, looking at the old father who sells himself. who is selling himself and his art. For a moment, the girl was speechless for a moment. The air suddenly became quiet for 2.5 minutes. Then the uncle said, "Yilefu, you finally woke up." I thought to myself, my father is flattering our savior. And I was about to explain to him. But the devil suddenly appeared at this moment. "Get out of here quickly." Then Elizabeth walked directly up to Yilefu. With her huge body, which directly pushed Aleph back repeatedly, and then said, "I warn you. I came here first." Seeing that the Demon King's jealousy had been aroused, I instantly pulled them apart. "Since we have guests, let's go inside and talk." We went into the room. I poured a cup of barley tea for them. The girl picked up the steaming wheat tea in her hand and asked her father, "Is this the magical potion that can cure you?" Hearing this, I scratched my head and then told her that it's just ordinary cold well water. The devil was sitting aside at this time, but with a worried expression. Leping brought 2 weak humans back. Is he going to do some evil experiment again? Can I satisfy your needs? The old man also explained to him at this time. Although his memory was hazy, he could still remember. Leping was working hard to hoe the field. And Master Wen Kai brought us here. Then Leping picked up the kettle beside him to feed me. Then I felt my whole body lifted up. And even my injuries were healed instantly. If it weren't for Leping's rescue, I might never have seen you again. And the girl looked at the holy water in her hand. She couldn't help but exclaim that such a precious thing. Can we really drink it? Seeing this situation, I couldn't help laughing. You adventurers are really interesting. Don't worry. Just drink it freely. Seeing my words, they no longer felt restrained. They drank the barley tea in their hands in one gulp. But suddenly, their pupils suddenly contracted. And then a lot of spiritual energy radiated from their eyes, as if their entire soul had been purified. They instantly felt. They felt like they were in a golden wheat field. The feeling of tranquility and peace. Even the old man couldn't help but get emotional. The two were quiet for a long time. And then, they both felt their magic had reached a new level. The uncle directly changed from 3-star to 4-star. And the girl also upgraded from 1-star mode to a 1st-star magician. And even her mother's elf bloodline was awakened. After witnessing the breakthrough of their realms, both sighed that everything seemed to be meaningless. I thought they were not satisfied, and was about to add another cup for them. The uncle burst into tears and refused, because as mortals they couldn't withstand such torture. At this time, I apologized to them very much, because I had nothing else to entertain them. But they trembled when they heard this, because their bodies couldn't withstand such torture. At this time, I also asked them how they were attacked. The old man also explained to me, because Aleph had elven blood in his body, and his mother is the saint of the elves. But elves are forbidden to intermarry with other races. I interrupted him. So in that case, it was the elves who were chasing you. But the devil denied it first, because the ban on interracial marriage became invalid when the Demon King unified the world. But the uncle said it was a long story. Elifu's mother went back to the elf sanctuary. Return to the elf sanctuary. The elves let us go. But the apostles of the Dark Guild in the demon realm still wanted to hunt us down. Hearing this, I couldn't help but look at the devil. It's the Dark Guild again. It's the Dark Guild again. Could it be related to Elizabeth? But the devil pointed at me and yelled at me. What do you mean? I've been pregnant with your child for a year. I don't have time to deal with this. Then the devil sat down again. You tell me clearly. The Dark Guild in the demon realm captures elves and what they are doing. And the uncle also told him the reason. Because the people of the Dark Guild are doing mysterious research, trying to resurrect the unified demon queen Elizabeth. The elves are one of their materials. Even those who haven't awakened the elf bloodline will be their target